Hello and welcome to my podcast, a crazy little thing called Lovdev. That is me. My name is Lovdev. I'm a stand-up comedian based in the UK. If this is the first time for you to listen to this episode, thank you so much. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Today's episode is 182, Black Widow Housing. Greetings from sunny Marrakesh. That's right, folks. I currently on holiday. I'm away. I'm not at home, but I am returning the next day. So if you're listening to this on the Monday, what's the date on the Monday next week? 11th. If you're listening to this on the 11th, on the actual dates come out, I'm back the next day, unfortunately. So I thought, I've got to keep this podcast going, do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter if I'm away, keep it going. So yes, booked a holiday to Morocco, me and the kids and my missus, although I don't know whether we should have gone on holiday because we're getting the house done, aren't we? You know what I mean? Like, the loft room is getting done, there's buildings in my house, there's mess everywhere. We haven't got money. I booked this back in January, this holiday. Flights weren't too bad. Found a villa. To be honest, the villa was a really good price. I think I paid like £1,000 for 7 nights. Got my own pool. It's 3 bedrooms, and the kids have all got their own room, which is fantastic. And it's in a really nice location. And on top of that, you can actually see the Atlas Mountains from the back of the villa, from the pool. So I thought, you know what, book that. That's £1,000, cheap. Get myself a car as well. Got a bit of spending money. So it's all booked and ready to go. The kids haven't seen the villa yet. That's a surprise for them because it is a really nice looking villa. And I think it's only like just come up when I booked it on, not Airbnb. I booked it on a different website called Verbo. Some of you probably do know Verbo. It's similar to Airbnb. They have different properties than Airbnb. But here's a little trick before I tell you all about the villa. If you're going on holiday and you think, oh, I found a nice villa somewhere, and you're looking on Airbnb, here's a quick tip. Have a look who the contact host is. If it's a name, then it's private. But if you see like a company name, let's call it Black Widow Housing. You just Google Black Widow Housing. I don't know why I called it that, but couldn't think on the top of my head. Google Black Widow Housing, villas or apartments, wherever it is what you found. And most times, 9 times out of 10, they've got their own website and you can book it directly with them and you'll save yourself a couple of £100 or dollars. Honestly, I've done it so many times. I've saved a lot of money. Didn't get to do it with this person because I think they are a private holder of their villa. I believe they're French. A lot of French people go to Morocco from what I've been watching on the old YouTube videos. So it's very French, not colonised, but there's a lot of French speaking police and as well as Arabic that speak French. So God knows how I'm going to cope. So the kids haven't seen the villa, but I'm sure they're going to love it. So right now, I am currently in Morocco as you're listening to this. Unless you're listening to this a couple of days later, I'm actually back. But I will tell you all about my holiday. So I wanted to do Ask the UK. On the Ask the UK, right, somebody has put up a post. Now, there's not a lot of information on the actual post, but where I am going with this, it's basically it's something about having bullying neighbours. Now, I don't have a bullying neighbour, but this did re-jog my memory of something that happened to my car not long ago. I'd say it happened about a fortnight ago. So when I got to my car, I parked my car on a pavement near my house. It's not blocking any drive. It's not on the road, so it's actually on top of the pavement, if you know what I mean. In the UK, we kind of park like on the curb. So when I got back to the car, somebody put a note on my car, and the English was bad. It said something like, "Please do not park on this road," or something like that. And I just looked at it, and one of my other neighbours was with me at the time because they was admiring my building work. Obviously, they're Asian and they've got to have a look. And I was like, "Who the hell's this?" I said, "It's got to be this house here." So there's an house that an old Irish lady used to live there. Margaret, her name was. Honestly, she was a lovely, lovely woman. When we moved onto this road, she came and brought flowers. That's how nice Margaret was. She was a proper Irish woman, if you know what I mean, from Dublin. I don't know what's happened to her, but apparently, I believe she got dementia or something. Unfortunately, she's back in Ireland, and her children are looking after her. I hope she's getting cared for, because she was a genuine, lovely person. So someone has moved in to her house, and I think they're Asians. From the spelling and the bad grammar, they're definitely Asian. I'm going to take a guess, but I think they're Pakistanis. So we will have a war. Obviously, I'm an Indian, they're a Pakistani. We'll end up having a war between each other. So I think they've put that note on my car. I looked at my car to see how far I am on their drive. I'm not even touching their drive. They can literally come on and off into their drive from the slope, if you know what I mean. I'm not even blocking it. And even my neighbour got mad, the other one. He went, "They can't do that. They can't do that. You pay road tax. You're not even blocking their drive. That's wrong." And I'm like, yeah, that is wrong. So this Ask the UK is kind of related to it. Like I said, they haven't made any... they haven't really told us what's exactly happened. There's a photo of it, and I can describe you it. But before we do it, here is...
Ask the UK.
Ask the UK. As I said, it's related, and I've got to drop that little jingle in, haven't I? It's been put up by somebody called Rate Good on Ask the UK forum. And now on this picture... Well, let me read the title, then I'll tell you the picture. He's put on the title, "What would you do if your bully neighbour kept intentionally blocking you in?" Now, on this picture, it looks like he's took the photo from a bedroom window and it's facing the front where the road is. I don't know if it's a main road. It looks like a main road, I think. And there's cars parked on a little parking bay right outside his house. Now, there appears to be a Nissan Micra, by the looks of it, on the left-hand side. And in the middle, there's a Land Rover. And they are parked, not behind the Nissan. They're parked behind the Nissan, but they're on bumper to bumper to another vehicle, which looks like a VW van. I might be wrong, but it's like a little mini camper van. So I'm going to take a guess that Rate Good owns this little VW van. And the car in the middle is his neighbour's. He's got a tow bar on the back of this Land Rover. And that is almost touching the bumper of this van. There is so much room between the Micra and the Land Rover. He can literally pull a little bit forward. So they've still got room to come in and out. I don't know whether your neighbour is bullying you. I don't know if anything's happened between the two of you. Or they're just really bad at parking. And I'm going to be honest with you, mate. Looking at this photo now, this Land Rover is about 2 foot away from the curb. So he's kind of like almost into the main road, if you know what I mean. He's not even near the curb. I think this person is just a really terrible driver. They do not know how to park. And one thing I've noticed about these SUVs, they think they own the road. I don't know if anyone has ever spotted this. I've spotted it quite recently. They will speed, they will be up your backside, and when you're on a road and say you can't get through it because there's cars parked on either side, and you see this SUV coming on the opposite way, they won't stop. They won't give you way. They will just continue because they think they own the road. Oh, we're bigger, we're the bully. Yeah, do you know what? Your neighbour is a bully. And I think the only way you can resolve this is to show them the picture, tell them to park closer to the curb, and tell them to move a bit more forward. Don't leave a note, because that's not going to do anything, like my neighbour did. If he just came out and spoke to me properly and told me that you're doing this and you're doing that, or my wife likes to park here, then I'd accept that. But there's no need to leave a note. So don't even bother leaving a note unless you say, I need you to ring me. I've hit your car or something. Make an excuse. No, don't say you hit your car. In case the police get involved. But it's absolutely terrible. I'm going to read some of the comments that have been posted on Rate Goods post. And it's somebody's put steal all the four wheels. Another person has wrote, has he deliberately blocked you in, or is that just a side effect of leaving himself space to easily drive straight out? That he's only just within the walking distance of the curb. Also suggest a fear of tight manoeuvres. I don't know what that person is talking about, but they're just a terrible driver, mate. That's what that is. And I think you need to bring it up because what if you've got to go somewhere, you got an emergency, you got work to go to? Do you know what I mean? The UK is terrible. Terrible. The roads are terrible. The drivers are awful, especially on the motorway. Don't get me started on the motorway. You all guys know how I feel about that. So last night, I did a gig. I know you're thinking, last night, you're in Morocco, aren't you, mate? I am in Morocco. I mean, when I was at home and I recorded this, there's no way the sound is going to be this clear if I've recorded this in Morocco. Well, then again, it could be. I mean, I'm not even there, so I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's like Back to the Future, this podcast is. That's what it's like. I did a gig, what I'm trying to say to you, when I was in the UK before I left to go on my holiday, in a little place called Ludlow. It's in Shropshire. I've been there a couple of times. It's right next to the castle. I didn't even know Ludlow had a castle. The drive from Birmingham to Ludlow is absolutely lovely. You pass a little place called Clebury. I might have said it wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. It's spelled C-L-E-O and then Bury. Cleobury. There we go. I probably still said it wrong. Ed, forget it. I don't care. It's so scenic. Honestly, the view. You feel like you want to pull over and just stop and admire the view. It's honestly absolutely beautiful. One of the best views I've seen in the UK. There are sheep everywhere. It's quite hilly, but it's absolutely honestly, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I drove past there before, but I think it was a while ago. I'm sure it was in winter or just before winter, so you could just barely see it. But yesterday on my way to the gig, oh mate, I was like, wow, this is well nice. And the town itself was absolutely gorgeous. It was like a traditional, proper English village. That's what it was like. But then when I got to Ludlow, that was the same. That was nice. Do you know what I mean? I thought there's got to be hills around here. Obviously, there's a castle, so it's got to be on a hill. But I didn't really see any views there, but I'm sure there is. But I did the gig there anyway last night, and it was okay. It was all right. It was going well until I started becoming a little bit too political, and I don't know whether they were going for it. The problem with me is, I don't know if it's me or the audience. They're never quite sure if they're allowed to laugh, if you know what I mean. it was weird. It was very weird. Like, you know, when you do jokes all the time and you know that they this one works, that one definitely works. Some of them didn't even register through their brains. So I don't know whether it was a cultural thing. I mean, it's very English, if you know what I mean. There's not many ethnic people around in that part of the country. So maybe that's the reason. Now, after the gig, I was chatting to somebody who's originally from Birmingham. They said they've seen me before at the Ludlow Brewery, a gig I did a few months ago, last year. That was a great gig. That was a different atmosphere. Same place, same town, different atmosphere. I don't know whether it's because it was more intimate and it was just... that woman told me, she said, your performance when I saw you that night was just, you know, brilliant. And I've seen you before and I think you're very funny. And I said, it's the same material. And she went, I know, but it's just the people around here. But then I think 98% of the audience in the room were between the age of 60 and 70. So maybe that's the reason why there wasn't many young people. And the ones that I could see their faces because of the lights, they seem to be enjoying it. I shouldn't kick myself. I do it all the time. I need to just relax, chill out, Lovdev, and just enjoy yourself like you are right now on holiday. So let's do a topic anyway, because I want to get this podcast out of the way. I've just recorded this for you lot. Like I said, I don't want to let you down. Let's do a conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theories, what's real, what's fake. Today's question has been put up by somebody called Ambitious Leak. And now on their post, they have wrote, the weather is crazy this year. Can I agree if the weather has been crazy? Now, I've had a quick look at what they've wrote. They're from the USA. I'm not sure what the weather's like in the USA. I know you guys have had forest storms, haven't you? You've had the wildfire and everything. In the UK, I'm trying to think, have we had anything bad? Not really. We haven't had any proper floods, but we've had a very warm spring and summer. This year's spring and summer hasn't been that bad, in all honesty. And funny enough, as I'm away on holiday, as you're listening to this, I've already checked what the weather's like in the UK, hoping that it's raining, but it's not. Even in the UK, the weather is still lovely. In terms of weather stuff, in the UK, it's just warmer, I think. It's gone a little bit warmer. It's more nicer. It's milder. You can do more gardening and stuff. We've had rain for a bit, but then we've had rain where, you know, it hasn't rained for a good few weeks. Hopefully the weather's picking back up again. And it's not been too crazy. So I'm not too sure. But Ambitious Leak, he's basically saying that he lives in Alabama. He's been there his whole life. He's 24 years old. Happy birthday. He says he knows the weather. I've grown up with it. We have all 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter. Sometimes it barely feels like we do. It's always hot. Fall, usually, when he says fall, I think he's on about autumn. We call it autumn in the UK. So I'm going to say autumn, if that's okay, ambitiously, because I just find it a bit weird calling it fall. I'm not sure why Americans call it fall. Is it called fall because the leaves are falling off the tree? That's the only guess I'm going to take. Or is it fall because the weather's just falling down now? It's just falling. It turns into winter, and I hate winter. So maybe that's why they call it. I don't even know. I'm going to have to ask Chat LGBT. He might be able to tell me. Let's crack on with his thing anyway. Autumn usually starts around mid-October and goes up until December. He's put down 50 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in the UK. We don't know, mate. We're so different. You Americans love confusing us. I've had to Google what 50 Fahrenheit is. It's 10 degrees, guys. Why can't you just make it simple? 10 degrees is considered fall for most places. So I'm using that in this thread. Winter comes around mid-December till March. Then it's spring from mid-March to May. So you got very similar month peak times to us. And that's when it usually rains the most. After that, it's summer, late May through to September. But this year has been weird as hell. It started raining in mid-February and it hasn't stopped. I'm not talking about normal rain. He's talking about storms. Constant thunderstorms. And I love a storm. I love rain. It's always been my favourite kind of weather. But this has been something else. We've had storm knocks over trees, take the power lines out, destroy cell towers, mess around with the Wi-Fi. The thunder is so loud it shakes the house. I bet it is like that there in the US. It wakes you up out of your sleep. I'll stop you mid-sentence. The wind is so strong, the trees are bending like they're about to snap. So are you trying to say, because this is a conspiracy, I got a feeling you're going to say the government is messing about with the weather. I'm not saying they don't. I don't know. Do governments play about with weather, or is it just human nature? Is it just Mother Nature, should I say? Not human nature. Well, it could be human nature if the government's messing about. It's just Mother Nature. I don't know. So he's ended his post with, I've been here 24 years. In all that time, I've never seen Alabama weather go off like this. Now, I've been in the UK for 47 years. We'll count it from 45. Because I was a baby. Now, in the UK, when it snowed, we used to get proper snow. It used to come up to your hips. Do you know what I mean? Like proper big snow, like you guys get. But now, we barely see snow. I don't think it snowed last year. I can't remember it snowing last year. And when it does snow, we only get like 2 or 3 inches of it. It was never like it used to be a long time ago when I was a kid. Now, a lot of people say to me, yeah, but you were shorter then. I know that, but I don't forget what snow was like. And I've still got photos of me and my friends playing in the snow. So, I think weather is changing overall, definitely. But he's basically put down, it's wild, unpredictable, and honestly kind of unsettling. Now, I could understand what you're trying to say. That, you know, you've not experienced this type of weather before. So something is definitely going on, obviously, with the atmosphere. There's got to be something going on. But as a conspiracy, you haven't actually put down what your conspiracy is, unless you're trying to say that something is going on and we don't know about it. I'll read 1 or 2 comments and see what people have put down. Sometimes it's tough to tell what weather versus climate. Up here in the northeast, 20 years ago, I used to ice skate on the ponds every Christmas. Those same ponds haven't had enough ice to walk across in 10 years. See, that's just like the UK. Because I've got so much to do today, honestly. I've still got to get through my packing. I haven't even done that. And I'm going to leave in about 3 days' time. Is it 3? No, it's 2. It's not even 3. I know I'm already there, but this is before. This is... Okay. Anyway, let's do something called embarrassing moments. This is an embarrassing moment for somebody. Kind of like a confession in a way, isn't it? Yeah. It's been put up by somebody called Sure Requirement. Their embarrassing moment is, I thought there was a murderer in my house, and now I'm embarrassed. Am I overthinking? Where are you going with this story? Sure requirement. That's what I want to know. What made you think there's a murderer in your house? Did somebody come to... I haven't even read the post, but has somebody come to your house who you don't know, but you've heard rumours about? This is what I'm taking a guess on. I could be wrong. Kind of like Home Alone. You know when Macaulay Culkin and the kids, and they see that guy with the shovel, and they say, oh, he's killed all his family and everybody. Which is quite horrific for a children's movie. You wouldn't hear that now. If you watched Home Alone now, it would not be the same, would it? It'd be absolutely just like proper censored, which is awful, in my opinion. Sure requirement. Let's find out what's happening to this poor person. Hi, first post here. Hello and welcome. It's not even a great story, but here you go. Oh, no, don't say that. If you say it's not a great story, I'm not going to read it. I've committed to it, so let's do it. They've put down, I'm a 20-year-old female. Happy birthday. I was home alone in my apartment in DC and dozed off in my room about 10 o'clock. I woke up to the sound of absolute bloody screams. Immediately, I was put off because my roommate never uses the TV or anything, but this sound has definitely coming from the TV. I jumped to the thought that someone was in my house while generally assuming it was the TV. My apartment building is old with 6 units and is fairly secure with 3 locked doors to the building, which various tenants leave open on occasions, and of course a lock on my apartment. I checked my roommate's location and she was at her friend's place. I texted her to confirm she was there because I was a little nervous. I prepared myself to leave my room looking for a weapon. Dry shampoo, apparently. That's what she got hold of. Then my roommate rang and said she's coming home right away and called the police to meet her. At this point, I was getting nervous. While I was positive I was not in any danger, since I would be dead by now, I was a little worked up and never had a situation where a device turned on in the other room. I remember my good friend lived a few blocks away and be a good calm, so I filled her in. She's a ROTC, a rational person, and came over. Oh, is that what that means? I was going to say, what's a ROTC? The second she came, I was like, this is so silly. I'm on the phone with my roommate who's in the back of an Uber with a knife. Our friend's whose house she's staying at, and my neighbour's friend is sprinting down the street. My roommate met the police outside and they all entered together. Obviously, nobody was there. The police looked at me like I was an idiot. Humiliated. I honestly have no idea what I'm looking for, but I should be embarrassed. Oh, but should I be embarrassed, they're saying? Nah, not really. I mean, you basically got woken up by screams, which is scary. Funny enough, I got woken up by the sound of this bleeping sound. Me and my wife woke up. It was around about 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, what's that noise? We thought it was a car alarm. Like one of our car alarms were going off. And we looked outside. I could tell it wasn't a car alarm, because usually the indicators will flash. And that it wasn't doing that. It didn't sound like a car alarm. But it was like a very annoying sound. And I was trying to work out what it was. And because it was by the window, my front window, I looked at my laptop. And I was like, no, it's not the laptop. But it sounds like it's coming from that area. So eventually it stopped and we just thought nothing of it. And then it continued again. And I went out the front trying to find this mysterious sound. I was looking at my neighbour's walls. I was looking outside. I mean, I was in my boxers. Anyone could have been looking out the window going, look at him, he's come out in his boxers. What's he doing? So it turns out it was a smoke alarm that the builders have took off from a house and they put it in a sandbag. You know, you get those big bags that full of sand. It's in there, but it's wired into the house. But I think there's a battery inside it. There's got to be. There's no way. It just come on out of the blue. Like, I don't even know what set it off. It was proper weird. I had to bring it back into the house because it was doing my head in. Let's continue with Shore Requirements post. So she was saying that should she be embarrassed? Did I do the right thing? Yeah, I think so. I mean, you're a vulnerable young female. You was home alone. You thought somebody was in the house or something was happening in your vicinity. So there's no harm in contacting your friends if you're feeling scared. You know, it could be anything. That's what I mean. It could be a murderer. Who knows? What actions would have been better? I think you've done the right actions. Called a friend, found out where they are, because it's good that you called your friend, although she said she's away, because you wanted to make sure she's safe as well, you know? So I think you haven't done anything bad. I'm from the country and usually not frightened by more city concerns, like some of my other friends are. This is the first thing that ever got me worked up like this. It's an easy mistake. You controlled it, the police came. At least you didn't have a panic attack, because that would have made it worse for yourself. There is no murderer. You do know you're safe and sound. And the police are not going to, you know. The police are there to do their job, and that's to keep you guys safe. It's not really an embarrassing moment. It was just been... First, I want to know is how did the TV turn on by itself? Now, Shore Requirement, as you're listening to this, I don't even know if you're listening to this podcast. Basically, guys, rest of your listeners, I let people know now that I'm using their post, and I hope they're all right with that. Make them famous. I do a weird news story. This is what I do. The weird news story ends the podcast. I've found a weird news story which... It's so weird, it's actually... kind of very similar to what you went through. Here it is. I found a stranger under my hotel bed. That's today's weird news story. I don't want to freak you out, Shore Requirement, or any other person out there. Well, this is a genuine story that I've just found, and it is, I think, in Tokyo. It was early evening in Tokyo. This is how it starts. This March, super busy. A whirl of neon signs, street vendors, and more people than I could possibly imagine. I was visiting on holiday from my home in Thailand, heading back to my hotel. My belly's full of ramen and keen to relax after a day of travelling. By 7:30, I was back in my room. I stripped off, put on a sweatshirt, tidied my things, then I got into bed and started researching train times. After about 20 minutes, I began to feel uneasy and noticed a strange odour. It smelt like a dead animal covered in sugar. I couldn't tell where the smell was coming from. I wondered if a rat had got into my room. Maybe some food had been left behind by previous tourists. I decided to check under the bed, even joking to myself that there had better not be somebody there. Sprawled on the bed, I craned my neck down to check. Two dark, wide eyes were staring back at me, blinking in the darkness. Oh my God! The intruder climbed out from under the bed, blocking me from running to the door. He was sweating, which I presume was causing the smell. I started screaming, and my brain kept repeating, "This is not real. over and over. I began to hyperventilate, froze on the spot, unsure whether he was about to jump on me, choke me, or even try to kill me. There was no space for me to run. My body felt as if I would collapse in fear. If he tried to overpower me, I would lose. I remained rooted to the spot, shouting for help as loudly as I could. He locked his eyes with me and began screaming. I scanned his face, trying to memorize exactly what he looked like. He was an East Asian, between 20 and 30, slightly overweight, bowl haircut, black clothes. He ran for the door and he disappeared down the corridor. I continued to scream for help. I grabbed my phone, tried to call the concierge, but I wasn't dialing the right number. Other people in the hotel heard me scream and were calling out, asking my room number so they could get me. 537, she kept repeating. They were frantic, knock on the doors. I realised I was only wearing a sweatshirt and clambered across the room trying to change. As I opened the door, 2 male tourists were standing there checking if she was okay. It was only then that I realised I was still screaming. Then they tried to calm me down, and soon the hotel concierge and police arrived. The police looked under the bed and found a USB cable and a power bank. I began to think the man had been planning to secretly record me with his charging devices. He could have done so all night. The concierge asked if I wanted to report the incident. She did. The police took the passports and email and said they probably wouldn't find him because of a lack of cameras in the hotel. That's awful. Though they would send me a report. They didn't even ask for a description of the man. I was shocked at how casually they treated the incident, like it's normal. Do you know what I mean? That's mad, that is. I had so many questions. How did he get in? Yeah, that's what I want to know. How did he get in? Actually, I didn't even think of that. Did he know that I would be alone? I couldn't bring myself to stay at the same place that night. So she booked a different hotel. Never felt so isolated and scared. When I got to my new room, I asked the staff to stay with me while I searched it. I didn't sleep because I was still afraid and spent the entire night ringing friends and family. I eventually returned home to Thailand, struggling with anxiety and post-depression. I found it difficult to stay informed about what's happening with my case and worry that nothing will come of it. But I haven't given up. I'm exploring options so that it can properly be investigated. Since I've spoken out, many women have shared similar stories. It's terrifying to read them. Sadly, though, I've had men write to me claiming it's my fault or I just want to degrade Japan. But all I want is justice and raise awareness so this doesn't happen to anyone else. Women already have to worry about their safety too much, and this is another example of those things not being taken seriously as they should. I used to think I'm invisible and that there was more good in this world than bad. Now I'm not too sure. Wow, what a story. Imagine somebody being under your bed. But someone under your bed in a hotel. Oh, that's absolutely awful. Oh, God, I haven't even gone on holiday now. Now I'm thinking, when I go on holiday to my villa, somebody's going to be under my bed, aren't they?